On today's Panther Sports Talk, we recap a wild year for UNI Athletics with David Harris. We look back at some important events that took place on campus, as well as a number of different championship performances. We also bring you a story on a school and conference record holder on the softball team, a track star from Belgium that found a new home at UNI, and a story on one of the best throwers in the country.